Hello, everyone, and welcome to Introduction to Psychology at Johns Hopkins University. My name is Dylan Selterman, and I'll be your instructor for this course. In this course, we're going to take a deep dive into the human mind. We're going to talk about topics ranging from romantic attraction to political polarization to mental illness. We'll talk about dreams. We'll talk about drugs. We'll talk about death. We'll talk about that dress, and many more topics. As I'm sure you were aware when you signed up for this course, it's entirely online and mostly asynchronous. This means we won't have regular full class meetings, and most of the work you do in the course will be done independently. But that doesn't mean you're alone. I'm always available to my students. A little bit more about me. I am an associate teaching professor here at Johns Hopkins. Before coming here, I taught at the University of Maryland for over 10 years after completing my PhD in social and personality psychology at Stony Brook University. I have a column for Psychology Today called The Resistance Hypothesis, and I co-host a podcast with Manuel Galvan called A Bit More Complicated. Feel free to follow me on social media as well at Selter Mosby on Twitter and Instagram. Here are some recent photos of me with my wife and daughter having some family fun. In addition to social psychology, my advisors were developmental psychologists who studied infants and children, and my other program mentors were experts in health psychology. So my research interests are pretty diverse and include topics such as interpersonal attraction, sex and relationships, patterns of dreaming, happiness and well-being, morals and ethics, political psychology, and education. Another thing you might be interested to know about me is that I was, like you are now, a Johns Hopkins undergrad. I went to college here about 20 years ago, so I know what it's like to be a Hopkins student with all of the opportunities and the fun and the stress that comes along with it. So if you ever want to chat about anything outside of the course, feel free to reach out anytime. It doesn't even have to be psych related. If you want to talk about your fantasy football team or the new Game of Thrones show or a podcast you're listening to or anything really, even if we don't meet in person during the summer, we can definitely connect over Zoom. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything, and I'll be happy to speak with you. Aside from that, I do hope you enjoy the course, and if there's anything we can do to improve your experience, please let me know. The course will be organized into a series of 5 modules, one for each week of the course. Each module will have a set of videos that I've created, just like this one, to go along with the textbook readings. Each mini lecture is short, typically between 5 to 10 minutes and no more than 15 minutes each. The textbook readings are through the NOBA project, which is a free open educational resource for psychology courses. So the good news is you don't need to pay for a textbook. Everything here is free. Now let's talk about the coursework. In terms of what you need to do for the course, a big component involves your regular participation. You are expected to post thoughtful contributions to the discussion boards on Canvas, which fall into 4 categories. One is psychology in the news or current events. In this thread, you can describe how current or recent events in society illustrate a psychological phenomenon. For example, in the syllabus, I linked to an essay about toxic relationships in the New York Times and an interview about psychologically weird cultures. Second is personal experiences. In this thread, you can share personal experiences that connect to the course material. For instance, perhaps I overvalued players on my roster in a fantasy football league, which might be an example of the endowment effect. Note, you can anonymize your posts in this thread by referring to your quote-unquote friends instead of yourselves. The third is curious minds. In this thread, you should describe what you are curious to learn more about, and this should stem from the research findings discussed in the course. In other words, you should comment on unanswered questions that psychology research has not resolved yet. For instance, how does emotional learning happen for kids and teachers who are wearing masks in school? And finally, changing minds. This is an exercise in intellectual humility. What have you changed your mind about recently? Did you believe something that you no longer think is true? Your posts here can be related to personal experiences, or they can be related to the course material. If you're feeling really brave, you can also describe a recent mistake or error in your own judgment. Then we have independent learning exercises. Using educational tools from a website called Clearer Thinking, you will complete 5 self-guided exercises, 1 per week throughout the course. You must complete one of these each week, and each one should take approximately 15 minutes to complete, after which you will receive a report with detailed and insightful results. Once you complete each exercise, you will be prompted to view a report that tells you how you scored on the exercises. You must move through each of those pages, after which you will see a space to enter your full name. Only then will I get a confirmation that you completed the exercise so that you can get full credit. Following this, you need to write a 1/2 to 1 page reflection on your results and what you learned about yourself, which you can submit on the Canvas assignment page. A full list of available learning exercises can be found on the Canvas assignment page. The independent learning exercises will each be worth 6% of your course grade for a total of 30%. Even though the course is designed to be asynchronous to accommodate student schedules, we also offer optional synchronous interactive activities over Zoom with your undergraduate TAs. Ideally, these activities will be done with a group of students together rather than individually. So each week, the TAs will offer several activities on different days and times. The schedule is to be announced. If you complete one of these activities, it will replace one of the required independent learning exercises. So if you complete 5 of the optional synchronous Zoom activities, you don't have to complete any of the independent learning exercises. Therefore, they are potentially worth 6% each, again for a total of 30%. You can also mix and match. For example, 2 independent learning exercises and 3 synchronous activities, adding up to 5 total. This is a screenshot of the completion page that you'll see after completing one of the 5 required independent learning exercises through Clearer Thinking. When you get to this page, make sure to enter your name and submit so that you can receive credit. There will also be 5 at-home quizzes covering the course material. The format will be auto-graded. For example, multiple choice, matching, fill in the blank. The quizzes will cover the course material presented in the videos and the textbook readings. There is substantial overlap between the videos and readings, so if you watch all the videos, then there is little else you'll need to study from the readings. The quizzes are not cumulative, although some concepts may reappear on multiple units. All quizzes will be open book, but you are not permitted to work collaboratively on quizzes. They must be completed individually. If you wish to collaborate, then my recommendation is for you to form study groups and create shared study guides. Each quiz will be worth 10% of your overall course grade for a total of 50%, and each quiz will be due on Sundays just before midnight, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and will cover the previous week's material. You also have an opportunity to earn some extra credit. One of the ways to do that is by creating psychology memes. I have more examples of this on the syllabus. In terms of general expectations from you, I expect that you will be on top of the coursework and maintaining a daily schedule. It would be good if you logged into Canvas every day and contributed to the discussion threads that we have. It is necessary for you to watch the instructional videos. Those are the ones that I record and post on Canvas, and to read the textbook chapters as needed as a supplement to the instructional videos. The weekly quizzes are due on Sundays at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the last thing would be to complete the independent learning exercises or the synchronous activities through Zoom that are run by your TAs. All right, that's it for now. And in the next video, we'll dive right into the content about psychology and the scientific method. See you then.